Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Monday, April the 7th, as well as a preview of the 5 games tonight in the National Hockey League, and there might be some clinching done tonight. That being said, we'll start at the top of the board. The Toronto Maple Leafs will be without McCabe and Camp for at least the next 2 games. They're saying these next 2 upcoming. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are trying to secure first place in the division, will also be having their depth tested between now and then. Toronto finishing first, I think that'd be fun. We know that the matchup may very well end up being Ottawa in the first round, although Florida's getting into that conversation as well. And no, I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I'm just going to throw that out there again. So yeah, the Maple Leafs without McCabe and Camp, we'll see how things go. But it does get, I think it was Robertson that came in the lineup, and that worked out pretty well for them last game out. So I think Toronto has the depth to absorb those losses for now. So the clinching scenarios tonight, both of these teams need a loss by the Calgary Flames. The Edmonton Oilers, if they win in any fashion and the Flames lose in regulation, then the Oilers clinch their spot. St. Louis clinch with a regulation win and the Flames losing in regulation as well. So Calgary, if they win tonight in San Jose, might hold that off a little bit. They should win in San Jose. That being said, we'll see how everything turns out. But St. Louis may very well clinch. They've won, 13 in a row now? It's a lot. Or they're going for 13. They just win every night. It's just what St. Louis does. We just have to realize now, St. Louis, 16-0 in the playoffs, Stanley Cup. They'll go 82-0 next season. They're just not going to lose. It's like Shorzy took over the team. At any rate, yeah, so those are your clinching scenarios. Your 3 stars of the week. Number 1 is Alex Ovechkin. And I don't think it would have mattered if he only had 1 goal all week. I think he still would have been his first star of the week. 4 games played, 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 points. Once Washington and Ovechkin decided, let's just finish this now, they did. They got it all done. So yeah, Ovechkin, first star of the week. Second star of the week is Nick Suzuki, who is showing, and I'll say it again, he is definitely a legitimate first-line center in the NHL. 4 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. The comparison I used for Suzuki earlier in his career was Bergeron. I still think that is the ceiling for him, is to be Bergeron light. And I only say light because, I don't know, is anybody ever going to be Bergeron? But at any rate, yeah, Suzuki has become a fantastic forward for a Montreal team that looks very motivated to make the playoffs right now. Robert Thomas, your 3rd star of the week from the aforementioned St. Louis Blues. 3 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. Robert Thomas, one of the better passers in the National Hockey League, and a big part of the reason why St. Louis is in the position that they are currently. Trent Frederick, who just came back in the last game, is not going to play tonight. So the ankle injury that kept him out, apparently he aggravated it in his return, so he's going to be out of the lineup for them tonight as they're in Anaheim. Yeah, it's one of those things that at this time of year, guys will come back probably before they're ready, and it's something teams have to keep an eye on, or at the very least, watch their minutes, that kind of thing. Maybe it was a fluke play where Frederick got hurt. We'll see how much longer he's out. Ehlers is seen as a game-time decision for the Winnipeg Jets. Ehlers is a very much needed forward for the Winnipeg Jets, so having him in the lineup tonight against the charging St. Louis Blues would help them a lot. Budweiser. So I don't think I've ever said the word Budweiser in a THG video before, but here we are. It sent celebratory cans to goaltenders that Ovechkin never scored on. It is Budweiser Zero that they apparently sent to them, so it's alcohol-free. And I remember the first time I tried alcohol-free beer, I'm like, I don't even like beer. This won't even get me drunk. What's the enjoyability of this? But at any rate, I think it's a great marketing ploy. Curtis Joseph showing off the can that he got because he was never scored on during his career. And since there's probably 6 goaltenders who faced Ovechkin in his career he hasn't scored on, it's not going to cost the company that much. And it does feel like he scored on every goaltender. Now Sorokin, joining that club yesterday. Yeah, Ovechkin, definitely a topic of conversation, and Budweiser jumps on it. And no problem with that. I think that's fine. I talked last night about the Canucks and their selling of Ovechkin jerseys, signed Ovechkin jerseys in an auction. He doesn't play for your team. At any rate, yeah, so let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's clever marketing? I think it is. I mean, here I am talking about it, so it worked. Colorado, dealing with some injuries, kind of banged up. We're getting ready for the playoffs, so you want to make sure everybody's healthy. They're hoping to get Natchez, Drouin, Manson, and Girard back in the lineup for them at some point this week. Hopefully all 4, but that's the plan. is to have them ready and good to go, keeping in mind that we're about 10 days out from the playoffs. So abundance of caution is going to get used a lot, and we're up to that part of the year where teams start resting players. Even if we look and we go, hey, if they lose this game, their positioning might change, and this seems like a key game, coaches are just looking at the playoffs. I don't think they care who they play in the playoffs. I think we care far more than players and coaches do. They know that it, like, for instance, when people are like, I don't want to see this team in the first round. Okay, but if you're going to win, and if you see them as like the team you're going to have to go through, you're going to have to face them sooner or later. Might as well get it done in the first round. And if the team's good enough to win the Stanley Cup, hey, you'll take out that opposing force if they're good enough, rather than get to the second round and get eliminated by them, or the conference final and get eliminated by them. So at any rate, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on if you have like a keen interest. Obviously, as a YouTuber, I do have a keen interest in seeing certain series that I think would be fantastic, would generate a lot of interest, and would also create some really, really great hockey. All right, let's get into tonight's action. We have 5 games tonight in the National Hockey League. 2 early ones, 3 late ones. 3 late ones, that's okay. If we're going to have words. At any rate, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We have Tampa in New York against the Rangers. Tampa Bay 6-3-1 in their last 10. They are 4 points behind Toronto for first place in the division, and they're 2 points ahead of Florida in second place. So they're not that far ahead of Florida, meaning they're not that far ahead of Ottawa either. The Ottawa Senators absolutely have a chance to end up finishing second in that division. It could happen. The Rangers, on the other hand, 4-5-1 in their last 10. They're 6 points behind the playoff, out of the playoff picture at this stage, and they got to show more effort, more heart than they showed in their last game. This is a team that played in the last game like they don't think they're going to make it. They need to play better. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, St. Louis in Winnipeg. This will be game of the night material. St. Louis has won all 10 of their most recent 10 games. They're 5 points behind Colorado, so they probably haven't given up on chasing down Colorado. They're 2 points ahead of Minnesota after Minnesota's win yesterday, so they're still the number 1 wild card. The Jets, 6-4 in their last 10. They're 3 points ahead of Dallas. So there's still that potential for Dallas, but I still think Winnipeg holds on to that spot. Then we get into the 3 late games, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. The Oilers, who are 6-3-1 in their last 10. They're 4 points behind the LA Kings. They're 8 points ahead of Calgary. Calgary, the only team that could pass them for third place. And again, depending on what happens tonight, that could go away. Anaheim 4-5-1 in their last 10. They've already been eliminated from playoff contention. Also at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. All of these are going to go to a shootout, aren't they? Seattle 4-4-2 in their last 10. They are eliminated from the playoff picture. The LA Kings 8-2 in their last 10. They're 5 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights and 4 points ahead of the Edmonton Oilers. So they're pretty firmly entrenched in that spot in the standings. We'll see whether or not LA continues to try to chase down Vegas and keep Edmonton at bay as well while they're at it. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start. Calgary in San Jose against the Sharks. These are 2 teams that are likely to miss the playoffs, but Calgary's not guaranteed yet. 6-2-2 in their last 10. They're 6 points back of a playoff spot, and if they win, they can at least not have to worry about being eliminated just yet. San Jose, on the other hand, eliminated a while ago. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10, and for San Jose, they're playing out the string. Should still be an entertaining game, but seeing that there's 3 late games, we'll see. And it's interesting, too, because there's going to be a break here between the 2 early games and the 3 late games. I'm just going to review them all together. I'm just saying right now. But there is going to be that break in between, and so we'll see. If something really substantial happens in these 2 games, something really amazing happens, I may review these on their own. I don't think so, though. But let me know your thoughts, including your picks for tonight. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.